Hello everybody and welcome to Matrix Live Season 4 episode I have no idea. We missed an episode last week. It was meant to be me and Amandine debriefing on the Web3 Summit, but stuff got in the way. And so here we are this week where I'm with Oliver. Hello.
Hello. Hello, Matthew.
So Oliver's been interning at New Vector this summer, working on all sorts of interesting Matrix stuff. I think you did one of these a couple of months ago at the beginning.
Yeah, it was 2 or 3 weeks in, maybe.
Yeah, so probably what was that, July or June or something? I don't know. But it was like Eric interviewing the interns, or some equally sounding, dodgy sounding B-grade 70s horror film. Sorry, I'm getting evil glares from Eric in the background now. Either way, will be useful because Oliver it's your last day today.
It is.
Formally on the project, although I'm hoping you might hang around and keep hacking on things with your Foss hat on, your student hat on. But yeah, you've got 20 minutes left on the clock, so what better way to do that than for us to debrief, and because we don't have enough time to debrief like properly, we're going to record it and use it as Matrix Live as well. That makes sense, right?
That does.
I guess when we last chatted, or when Eric last chatted to you, the brief for the internship was focusing on hacking on Sygnal, the push thing, converting it from Python 2 through to Python 3 and getting rid of G-event and putting it all on Twisted with async IO goodness.
That's right.
How did it go?
It was a bit flaky to start with. We had a couple of fires.
Mm-hmm. But it's live now?
It's now live, and we're seeing reduced CPU usage and vastly reduced memory usage as well.
Cool.
And
is it still running in a G-unicorn or Goonicorn or whatever you call it?
No, it uses the twisted web.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's cool. So basically, every time you receive a push notification now, that at least goes through the Signal which we run. And if you're running your own Signal, you really should have updated by now because we've even got version releases.
We have.
It's what, 0.2?
0.2.4, I think, today.
There we go. 0.2 is the rewrite, basically.
Yeah.
And 0.1 was the old G-event based thing. So it's a complete rewrite in Python 3. And so, yeah, every time you use it, it's all thanks to him. So thank you. And previously, I think we were starting to run out of CPU in some places, weren't we? There were definitely, it was like capping out at a couple of hundred a second or something, I think. Whereas, so getting the CPU down, not to mention memory, is good news all round. So what have you been doing since then?
Since then, I've been looking at fixing up the room directory, which currently is nearly unusable.
Mm-hmm.
Takes a very long time to get any results. And oftentimes you won't get any results because it'll just time out on you and you won't get anything.
So is that, well, so how has that ended up working out?
Well,
does it work? Is it merged? And how have you changed?
It's not yet merged, it's almost merged.
It's going to merge in the next 13 minutes. No pressure.
I can't merge whilst I'm talking to you.
Alright, you said you'd merge it. The CI was running. Or is that just the CI on the branch that is
the CI on the branch.
Okay. Right, fine. So it's going to be real soon now. So how does it work?
So we have a system called statistics, which, well...
Go on.
Which tracks variables about rooms and users, such as the number of joined users, and also maintains a cache for the room state, so the room topic and the room description. Now, when I got here, it wasn't up to scratch, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, no, quite right. So the amusing thing here is that the stats code that Oliver's talking about was stuff that I tried to put together in a massive rush about a year ago to stop disroot.org rage quitting the Matrix ecosystem because they didn't have, well, for many reasons, one of which was that they didn't have enough of a quota on where their disk space was going. So at the time, there was no way to track where the basically live stats on rooms or users or anything else. If you wanted to find out how many people are in a room, you were kind of working it out almost from first principles-ish. By looking at the room state and summing it all up for where it is right now. So what I did was to put do a mad rush to try to cache and keep a running total of the most important things. So you have a plain old table, and if you look at near Synapse today, it's called room underscore stats and room underscore state, which has got a running total of what the current state is and what the current stats are for a given room. But as Oliver says, it wasn't up to scratch. It was shit. It was never merged. It wasn't finished. And so Amber Hawkeye went and finished a lot of that off a few months ago, and then you picked that up in order to use it for the room directory.
There were
still some things which weren't up to scratch.
There were some, show-stopping bugs in there, such as new rooms wouldn't be tracked, and the number of join members could go negative, I think.
Well, it's bad when you've got negative people in your room.
Something like that happened anyway.
That's where all the dark matter in the universe is going. Synapse and stats tables. Cool, but you fixed it up then?
Fixed it up, and I have a room directory that uses this to these stats.
Cool, and it also works over Federation now?
That's right. I wrote an MSc to add search filtering over Federation.
Which I think is even cleared FTP?
Yes, that's right.
Cool.
And it's merged, and we've got an implementation merged in Synapse.
Cool. So very soon your room directory is going to work again, thanks to him. Hopefully. If not, we just won't let you out of the building until it's done. That's fine. What else? And then also there is the turn stuff. Now I don't think we've spoken about this publicly at all yet.
Oh, right.
In fact, I bet that most of the team don't know that it's happening. So tell us about the turn stuff.
So a problem I have on my own home server is that voice calls or video calls, so VoIP stuff is quite unreliable. And I basically trace it back to I've never set up my turn server properly. And I can't figure out why it's not working. So I thought we need a tool to test these turn servers and tell us, is our configuration working, or does it need work? So I talked to you about it. November last year?
Yeah, something like that probably. And so you've been putting something together. Is it on the client side or the server side for testing it, or both?
So there's a web client, so a web page, which connects to your home server, gets the turn credentials, and then it will contact a service which I guess you matrix.org will run.
Yep.
And it will use that to set up a turn connection, or at least try to. And then it'll hopefully at the end it'll give you a report, but I've not quite got there with that yet.
Yeah, I guess there are two bits of it. First of all, you need to check that the candidates, that the turn server is helping you discover what your network looks up and what candidates are available for you to hypothetically put traffic over. And then the cherry on the top of the cake is if you actually put some traffic over it and confirm that it can echo some data back to you. And I think the idea is to use data channels for that.
That's right.
So it's not a full-blown VoIP call or anything. It's not like, it could perhaps extend into a all singing, all dancing echo service, which would be really cool. We used to have one. It was about 14 years ago. It was one of the first video calling services in Europe that we ran, and we did this video echo service on it. And it's possible that as a result, it went and recorded a random 2-minute bit of video in order to play it back to the user. And for diagnostic purposes, at first we keep these things around for a bit, and obviously we subsequently deleted them. And this was long before GDPR and all the rest of it, but suffice it to say that, nowadays we would definitely not store any data other than in RAM in order to do an echo service like that. Long story short, though, it's echoing data channel stuff, or it will be, and that would be really cool, because if you can get your data packet through, everything should work.
That's right.
The possible exception of, I guess, MTU things is going to be the really nasty thing. But let's put a big packet through. It'll be fine. As long as we chuck like 2K of crap over it to see whether it works. And that's going to go into... Is it being integrated with the Synapse installer, or is it a separate thing?
I've left the option open to do so, but it's not something.
It's just a random separate web app at the moment.
Yeah, so
cool.
It's I've tried to split it apart so that it could be done that way. But for now, it's going to be standalone.
Cool. So one of the other projects going on this summer is building a graphical installer for Synapse using the web. And so one thing that could be nice is, as again, kind of stretch goal, that once it's got your Synapse up and running and you can log into it, it can be a, hey, now let's find out whether your VoIP works and do you know what turn is and all that sort of thing. But I think having them separately is better than, is almost good enough for now. And it'll be easy to just glue them together if needed. Very cool. So, anything else that's been going on? There was open tracing stuff, but that was just to make sure that the Sygnal rewrite works.
Yeah, so the open tracing is waiting on to be deployed, I think.
Yeah.
And
then
it
it's about
uses-
getting production Jaeger stuff up and running.
And Yorick's done some work in that area.
Mhm.
And as far as I know, once it's deployed, Synapse and Sygnal should be able to trace across each other, but it remains to be seen.
Cool. Well, I'm sure we'll do it together. I mean, we can do it together as needed. And I guess the one thing that we thought we might have time to look at but haven't is doing Foss Push as well as the Sygnal rewrite. So I apologise that was something that we said, hey, it would be great to get to, but I think the hey, it would be great to get to turned into the turn tester rather than the open push stuff. But I'm assuming, given that your domain is librepush.net, that you're still interested.
.net because it's cheaper.
No, well, nothing wrong with .net. .net's coolest. .net's the best TLD there is. All of my domains are .net, like Arisphere.net. That's my personal one. Anyway, LibrePush, I assume you still want to have a crack at that at some point.
Definitely.
Any idea what the plan is there? Commit a video into the world and we'll hold you to it.
So still waiting to see what will go on. I've heard interesting things about server sent events.
Oh, SOCs. I'm not so sure about that.
I'm not.
You get all the HTTP crap on it too.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Whereas if you're doing a co-app based thing like the low bandwidth
that's right.
that we had.
The co-app stuff I was keeping an eye on.
Yeah, it's like 10 bytes to wake the thing up, whereas with HTTP2 you've got to do the whole handshake, not to do all the TLS crap over it, and then you sit there and that's TLS, and if the TCP connection drops you're going to have to re-handshake it to some extent, and then I mean, I know that there is a project out there, I'm not sure whether it's public knowledge or not, of folks in Germany working on this currently, which could be pretty cool, but the more the merrier, and also I reckon the best way to do this is to actually squidge down matrix to wake the phone up, so that you don't then also have to, having got the push, then start messing around talking matrix to get the data. It would be nicer to just get your server push with whatever the minimum amount of information about that event is, so that you can display it directly without another round trip. But that seems controversial. My old secret evil ulterior motive is to get everybody then to run a matrix server, because if matrix is push, then you get matrix for free, and more matrix is better for everybody, rather than having this kind of crappy, hey, we're going to talk this special push protocol and that wakes me up and then I talk matrix.
Yeah.
Why not have both? Or why not have both? Why not just have one? Cool.
I mean, then we need to figure out how we're going to get multiple apps to share this.
Oh yeah, but that's what the Pantalaimon stuff is trying to do with Matrix Daemon, to go and demultiplex.
Oh right, okay.
That's the other secret ulterior plan on Pantalaimon, that you end up with a daemon running that both offloads all the end-to-end encryption, so that all of your random crappy apps talking push don't need to know what Olm and Megolm is, and it only maintains one server-side connection, and it does it with the super low bandwidth co-app stuff, and then demuxes that to all of your other apps. And before you know it, you've got a standard push and telecoms infrastructure for every open source and possibly non-open source operating system in the world.
Ooh.
I think that'd be fun. Let's see how it goes. Unfortunately, Pantalaimon's got a bit distracted, or is slightly on hold because we're doing a new project. And it crashed because macOS can't record audio anymore, it seems. You missed me waffling on about Pantalaimon and how we've started a new project called Seshat, which is named after the Egyptian goddess of wisdom, which is factoring out the E2E search indexer from Pantalaimon and putting it straight into Riot Desktop, Riot iOS, and Riot Android that Polyar's working on. And it's all part of the secret evil plan for Pantalaimon to be a demon that takes over the world. And also, you must be saying thank you to Oliver for hacking on all this stuff over the summer, and it's really cool. I hope to have done an internship where real stuff is shipped and gone live and is helping people. So thank you very much for getting involved. That's quite alright, and I hope we'll see you again soon.
Definitely.
Right, now we've had our awkward second goodbye, we can say bye-bye. Bye.